afternoon. Welcome to the Inside Job Podcast. I am your host, Nate, and this afternoon we have Doretta Levon Tootle. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
I am good. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Listen, we're just going to get straight to it. First of all, I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
I'm excited to be here today.
Yes, good. Listen, we were talking a little bit before we came to the table, and you made a statement, and I'm going to let you have the table for, whatever it is that you want to talk about. But one thing that really stood out in our conversation, because I know it all too well, and you said that you've always had to live in survival mode. Mm-hmm. Ooh-wee, y'all, if that ain't the realest thing. And so that has so many components to it, because the impact that it has on all relationships all across the board. Yes. So let's talk about why you have been living in survival mode pretty much all your life. So what's going on?
Well, I want to begin when I was... when I was born, my mother passed away when I was 3 months old.
Oh, wow. Sorry about that.
So at that time, when I was 3 months old, I actually came to Denver to live with my aunt, who is here now. She's 93 years old.
What? Oh, come on, hold on.
She's amazing.
Hello, aunt.
She's so amazing. She's an amazing woman.
Yes, okay.
She has always, because of my mom's leukemia, I had lots of health problems. That's one reason why, as you see, I have vitiligo.
Okay.
I do believe that was one of the reasons why I grew up, just having health problems, skin condition, all that good stuff.
Okay. Well, let me take a pause and tell you how beautiful you are. No matter what it looks like on the outside, she has a beautiful spirit, y'all, and it just shows up. It shows up. You're very beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
No, it's okay. So my mom, she always told me I was beautiful, and I believe that.
Amen.
Until the age of, I believe it was 15 years old.
Okay.
I believe my dad remarried. I believe I was 15. He remarried.
Okay.
When he remarried, I'm pretty sure, I'm assuming that he probably showed her pictures of me when they were going to come to Denver to visit me. Okay. And so in my head, I'm thinking, he probably showed her pictures, because on the phone she says, well, I'm going to bring some makeup and we're going to make your face up. And so I'm like, as a teenager, that's exciting to be able to wear makeup then. It was exciting to be able to wear some lip gloss or just anything like that. Eyeliner. Never would I have thought, though, it would have been foundation that she was going to cover my skin. So when she got here, she was making my face up and everything. And I'm excited. I'm ready to see it. And so when I see it, she shows me the mirror and I look. And she says, now you're beautiful. And this is while after covering up all of my spots. Now, she may not have known the impact. She probably thought that she was helping me, but she doesn't know that the woman that was raising me taught me that I looked good the way I was.
Yes, come on.
She may not have meant anything by it, but it's just very, very, we got to be very careful the words that come out of our mouth and how they're going to affect people. So from that time on, I'm like, oh my goodness, so I wasn't beautiful that whole time. And so from there on, I began just looking for validation from every which way, but what. Yes. Because I felt like I needed to be validated. You could say just one thing to me, whether it was negative or positive, it was validation for me. So that kind of grows with you. Yes. From 15 up until I took my makeup off at the age of 41. I took it off. And that's because I was working around kids and teaching young ladies to love themselves. And I thought, well, how can I teach them to love themselves, but I'm covering up how God made me? I can't do that. Yeah. So I feel like that was one of the things that I call something that affected the seed that was growing within me. So I tell people now, when you are, as a person, we have a seed that is inside of us.
Yes.
When that seed sprouts, whatever that seed is being fed is what that seed is going to sprout as.
You better talk.
So for me, I had anxiety, I had depression, I had insecurities, I had all kinds of just things on my tree that were just horrible because of those words of "now you're beautiful" that just grew with me for life.
Yeah.
So it got to a point where I had children, 3 boys. They're all 9 months apart, but they're all grown now.
Okay.
Had some kids, which the way I say is that my life affected how they were growing up because I wasn't a healed being.
Okay. Let's talk
and
about that.
What I mean by that is I was, just whoever liked me for whatever reason.
Ooh-wee.
I'm exposing this to my kids.
Ooh-wee.
They're moving in with me. That's not good for your kids.
No.
I have one son that's so angry that he's punching walls at school.
Oh, wow.
And so it's like my decisions affected them.
Absolutely.
So I think the last part or the last point that I kind of said, you know what, this is it, is when we were homeless.
Oh, no.
So we lost our place. We became homeless. We stayed in a motel for about a year or so, maybe a year and a half. And I laid up in the hotel bed, literally like, God, what is it? Like, it's like I get out of one book, and just because you move to the next book does not mean that because that book was a little bit different than the first book doesn't mean it's the right book. So just because the first person treated me this way and the other person didn't, there were still things about that person that were still hurtful for me and toxic for me. Yes. So that's when I realized I got to really dig within deep and find out what is it that, what did it, that's affecting my life and my boys, helping them to grow. Yes. And so as I did that, God spoke to me. He's like, I've given you this and you've allowed people to take this from you and this and that. And it's all because I didn't love who I was and just needed that validation. I'm putting up with everything, just because I needed to feel validated.
Wow.
So.
Wow. And that will make you, like you said, accept everything, make you do anything, and not really understanding the impact that it's going to have towards, our children, our families, but ourselves, right? So it's key to know who you are, right? And then just love who you are.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't know who you are, then you'll be what anybody wants you to be.
Absolutely.
And if you don't love yourself, then we'll accept anything that looks like love. That's anything. The attention.
Absolutely. Ooh, and that's what I did for years,
Yeah.
And I literally, as, God began to tell me, hey, you need to just begin to write those things on paper.
Oh, yes, that's good.
Even if you can't get to those that hurt you, write it down. Yes. I wrote it down. Yes. I sat and had a conversation with my boys. I said, hey, boys, I am so sorry. Because that's another thing. If we don't take accountability for that, kids will grow up and then you've created a whole other problem. Because so I apologize. I said, I'm so sorry that I put you guys through this, and because your mom needed or felt like she needed to have someone, but it affected them. So I did tell them, I said, from this day forward, no one will come to live with us when we get a place, when we finally have a place. It'll be just us. And that's it. I mean, we were blessed to become, actually get on a program through the Salvation Army Red Shield. We were blessed all around, even being homeless. We had their school that would come up to our hotel and I wouldn't know, and they would just make like a 2-month payment towards our living space.
Yes.
And those are people now, when I look at life now, I give back to the community.
Yes, come on.
And those are the things that those are the people that I wanted to give back to in that community, because that was a community that supported me and my boys.
Guys. Yes.
And that was Wyatt Charter School. Actually, it was Joey Pace from the City and County of Denver Office of Children's Affairs, but at that time he worked at St. Charles it was the Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
And so they were very supportive. Red Shield Salvation Army, I'm now currently social services coordinator there.
Yes.
And they are also the people that housed us when we finally did find a place. So, yeah, He's taken me through all these different spaces where I can give back. And so He did tell me that Salvation Army Red Shield was my last stop. So I know I have a nonprofit called Thelma's Dream. I didn't tell you that.
It's called what?
Thelma's Dream.
Thelma?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thelma's Dream. That's my mom's name.
Okay.
And so with that being said, I am, really working to go full time because my focus is the community. My focus is helping women to grow and love themselves and try to figure out what it is that's breaking them so that we can begin to, like I said, replant a new seed. That's one of my, yes. And so Red Shield's my last stop. So hopefully within the next year or so, I'll be able to be full-time with Thelma's Dream.
Okay.
Offering just resources and assistance in the community. And then also programming for young ladies.
Okay.
For families. The family is what we need to focus on. It's just not just the kids, but it's the family.
Come on.
And so Thelma's Dream does focus on the family.
Amen. Ooh, that's so good. And you know what? I'll support it. I will run whatever it is that you need ran, through this platform so that it becomes awareness to everyone. Yes. And then you guys, you all support this thing because it's a great cause, right? We need a lot of women like you. We need a lot of people like this. We need a lot of agencies like this because people need help sometimes. You needed help and you got it.
Yes.
You're a successful woman now, and some of that obviously is your work, right? You had to put in the work.
Absolutely.
It's not just given to you, right? Mm-hmm. We have to do our part.
We do. We also got to recognize too.
We do.
Because if we don't recognize what it is that's causing us to make certain choices, then it does just kind of it festers and it keeps going. So that's one thing that I try to tell kids, and I'm so sorry. No. I try to tell girls is to recognize what it is. So we really go deep into how are you feeling today? We do a lot of things, and it's important to know what it is first. Yes. And then once you pinpoint it, then you can begin to, I say, what is
pull back the onions.
Pull those roots out. Start taking all those, those dead roots out of there and start pulling them so you can get ready to plant that new seed.
Yes, that's so good, because they do that, so I'm a coach. I'm several different coaches, and inside of that and inside of my own therapy, that is one of the most important things, was recognizing the space in which the behaviors that were coming from started, right? Wow. So you have to, recognize what's causing the root cause of it. And then you can start dealing with it there. And in my case, we ended up going all the way back to, the little girl. You're talking about 5 years old. That baby, she needed to be exposed and then go back and loved. But it took the recognition of knowing what it was that was causing me to be angry, causing me to have the depression, causing me to just, cut up, right? And not knowing where that came from, you just keep behaving that way, wondering, what's wrong with me? And it does take someone to be able to sit down with you and help you get to that point. Why are you behaving that way? And before you know it, you done talked it up. And you talked it, okay, well, you know what? It's because I needed this validation that I'm doing all of these things. Oh, that's so rich.
Just imagine all the young ladies that are walking around like that now.
I know.
Not only young ladies, but even women that just never healed or never got the resource that they needed to heal.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to even go, a step even further and say it isn't just us as women. We have some young boys out there who are doing the same thing, right? And then they grow up as men, or they grow up, as an older male, and then operate inside their hurt, operate inside their traumas and unhealed spaces, and it's destructive for all of us, right?
It's very.
Yeah.
It's
so
very.
and there are, I'm certain, I know without a doubt, I'm gonna have a gentleman on. There are programs out there for men as well. I am gonna have some one on, but similar lead to whatever we offer as women. Those same resources are available for men. We just gotta, you guys just gotta find it, look out, kind of research it, and they're out there.
Yeah,
I know they are.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and so this is, oh man, so Thelma's
dream.
Thelma's dream, and so you're thinking within another year. It's going to be.
I'm giving it a year.
You're giving it a year. So, are you just at the place of building it?
No, I've actually been in establishment for close to 7 years.
Oh wow! Where is it at? Do you have a location?
I don't have a location. Okay. I have been utilizing different spaces like churches.
Okay.
I started doing toys 7 years ago.
Okay.
Out of my church, and I started out with 25 toys.
Okay.
For Christmas.
Okay.
And now I'm serving at least 250 families.
Oh wow! So tell me where people can donate. Be it money, toys. Is it a system where someone could pull a name or whatever and adopt somebody or anything like that? Or how does this work?
I'm glad you brought that up because for the adoptive family, they can actually email. It's info Thelma's Dreams. So it's INFO THELMADREAMS @gmail.com, because we are looking for people that want to adopt families right now.
Okay.
I usually do a community Christmas party in partnership with Toys for Tots.
Okay.
However, I believe there's a shortage this year because the deadline to register for that was basically cut off in October. So I'm not sure if we're going to be doing a community Christmas party for the community. Okay. But I will be doing the adopt a family for sure. Hopefully, we'll see what God does. If that's something that that they open the list back up, then I have the facility planned and the date so that if that does happen, it's still going to happen. It will happen rather. Okay. But we are looking for people to adopt families. Okay. I also work with teen moms for Young Lives. It's called Young Life. Okay. And so under Young Life is the umbrella Young Lives, which are teen moms. And I thought this year would be a wonderful opportunity to have those girls adopted. Oh, yes. Teen moms struggle, Yes. Anyway, so I thought that would be great. Opportunity to have people adopt a mom and their baby or something like that. But that's going to be my focus this year for the Adopt a Family program. Okay.
I will make sure that we run this information through the social media platform, and then you guys come out and support this. This is a great cause, and I can't tell you what to do, but it would be a blessing. It'll be a blessing to so many people, so many families, to just know that you're loved, and then because they probably cannot afford to. I know that it's not about, always having gifts and things like that, but it does feel good. It does feel good when people give you stuff. You know what I'm saying? And wow, it almost makes me tear up. Yeah. It almost makes me tear up because, I was fortunate. I was a teen mom.
Were you?
I was. And the fortunate part about it for me is that I did have a supportive family.
We'll need to talk.
Okay. Yeah. If I didn't have that, I can see. I was a teen mom, but I finished school on time. I finished with support. I still was like in the top tier of my class. I still went on to college. I still went on and just kept grinding.
Yeah, speaking of which, then, now that you're saying that, we are looking for volunteers. If there are any others like within in your community that may want to volunteer, I think it's good for teen moms to hear something like that.
Oh, yeah. Sign me up.
Let them know that there's hope available
absolutely.
for them. So
I will definitely volunteer for that. I've also been a volunteer and an advocate for rape victims. So this isn't nothing new for me. I've spoken at rape centers, crisis centers, homeless shelters, and things of that nature. Just letting them know, the same thing. You can overcome that. It does take work, and it is a constant. It's an everyday battle. Yeah. It is, and a lot of it is a choice. You have to choose to. I think I had another guest on, and he said something that was so profound. He said, you have to confirm it in your spirit that that's what you want to do. Wow. And that is so rich because you have to want this thing. I remember saying on so many occasions, I didn't want to live like this. Like, I didn't want to live with the impact that being raped and being molested and abused and all of those things had on me. Like the anger. I was an angry person.
Goes back to that survival mode.
Yes, honey, because look, it always showed up. It always showed up, and the way that it showed up was it like protection. I always had this defense mechanism of like, oh, you're not gonna hurt me. I'm gonna fight my way out this thing. I'm gonna even towards people who didn't deserve it. Some people were coming at me like, hey, look, hold on, I'm not even at you like that. I'm not here to hurt you, but everybody got the same treatment, unfortunately, until I was able to heal that space and then be able to discern who was and who wasn't. Everybody wasn't out to get me. But that survival mode, baby, it's real. It is very real. It will affect
you for the rest of your life if
and
you don't decide that and recognize again, like I told you, me and my boys just recognized that we lived in survival mode. So we just literally had a conversation 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So how did that impact them? Living in survival mode, how is that for them as men now?
Well, I feel like now I haven't been able to see it myself, and that's why I wanted to have a conversation, because I'm not with them every day to see how, the actions or what may be affecting them in their daily social, just anything. Yes. And so I just asked them, I said, hey, you know what, guys? I realized that we were living in survival mode for a long time. And I said, we never really discussed, the hurt and how we felt about things that happened as far as their father's concerned. So, I said, hey, let's talk about it, And so I have two that really don't say anything at all. My two younger sons, they don't discuss it. But my older son's very vocal.
Okay.
So for him, he expresses it. He lets you know. He has actually reached out to try to have breakfast with his dad, and dad's not showing up. So, I think for now we keep moving. We keep doing what we're doing.
Yes.
We keep giving back, but we still have those conversations. We still talk. I get together with them on Sundays.
Okay.
So we still have those conversations.
Okay. Now, do you notice with them, even though you don't, are around them too much, but have you noticed anything like in their relationships?
My oldest did.
Your oldest did. What did
he did? And we're being transparent here.
Yes.
He's that child that, and he just told me this again, like 2 months ago, that, well, Mom, when you would be at work, I would see just different women at the house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so, those are, like I said, those are those hard conversations that we have. And
have to.
If we don't have them, then, so, for me, I'm like, oh, wow. So how do I process that as well?
Yeah.
But, knowing that he saw this, he kind of grew up in that mode of thinking it was okay. And so therefore he found himself doing the same thing. One thing about it is, though, is he recognized again that, hey, this isn't right. Something's not right, And so now he has gone through that process of healing. Now he's got a permanent, well, I'll say permanent girlfriend that he eventually is going to ask to marry.
Oh, yes.
So that's like amazing.
Yeah.
So, that, but it took him to see that, but, it's just, it's important for us to just talk about it whenever we need to, and we leave that space for that.
Yeah.
We leave
that's
it.
Important.
My boys and I have always had very transparent conversations.
Good.
Because I leave my door open for that.
Yes.
So,
yes.
It was, I had a moment with my oldest because he came and told me about his first experience.
Okay.
As far as sexual experience. And I had to go upstairs and put the pillow over my face and scream. Because I'm listening. I'm like, okay, son. And I'm listening. And then I'm like, oh, my God. So I'm like, oh.
Yes.
But I mean, I think it's important. A lot of kids don't have that. And I think it's important for them to have that with their parents.
I mean, because if they don't have it with you, the streets will have it for them. And it may not be, the values and the morals that we, have or would expect our children to possess. And so I love that. I think that's amazing that you have that kind of a open relationship. I don't know if it's different having that relationship like with boys. I do have a son, but my girls, there was more girls than it was. My son was the only boy. And having those kind of conversations with them, one, it was almost like pulling teeth, or herding cats because, they didn't want to talk about it. And I'm like, no, let's get to it.
Yeah,
forget the whole, the birds and the bees. No, let's talk about this, like, detailed, right? When their age was appropriate to do so. And so I think by doing so, I opened the door for them to then come to me. And then sometimes I'd be like, TMI, but okay, let's talk about it. I kind of really didn't want to know that part of you and like, where are you hanging from what? Oh, come on, you don't want to hear all of it, but I afforded them that. So I still, even though sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, I still hear it out. And do you want me to stop, Mom? Like, no, come on, give it to me. I asked for it, so it's on that line of be careful what you ask for, or and further what you plant and present, because you're gonna get it.
Right.
You gonna get it.
Right.
So I don't know if it's any different. My son did not have those type of conversations with me, even though the door was open. He just didn't. And, I never shut the door on it. I always asked. Yeah. Like, so you ain't going to talk to me about it? Oh, Mom, I don't want you. No, Mom, I ain't going to tell you that. Mom, no. And I also encourage them, okay, well, if you don't want to talk to me about it, always find somebody that you trust that you can talk to about it. Because I know you was learning somehow. You figured out something. Oh, yeah. Somebody was telling you something. You was watching something, doing something. I don't know, but we didn't have it. So for you to have that with your boys is awesome. Yeah. So I'm certain that the two younger ones, and I don't know, younger age as far as their age, but I'm sure they'll come around. They're going to get to that place too where. And I don't know if they are not already involved sexually or anything like that.
Oh, yeah, they're grown. So they're 20, how old are my sons? 22, 23, and 24. Actually, I'm sorry, 22, 22, and 23 is their ages. I get them mixed up. They're 9 months apart, so my 20, they're called Irish twins. That's what they're called.
Yeah.
So
oh, yes.
They were born 9 months apart.
9 months apart. I think two of my sisters were born 9 months apart.
9 months apart.
Yeah. I said, okay, Mom. Okay, well, we won't go there. Baby got her stitches out. But whatever. Okay. It is what it is, right?
Right. Right.
Okay, so they grown and they already, out doing their thing. Okay.
Yeah, they're all grown and they're doing community work as well. So
nice.
yeah, everything is great because we're all able to give back. I'm able to even see them. You know, a lot of times with our kids, I'm kind of like, hey, you guys come with me because I'm really old school. So I think their social abilities with our kids today are a little different than my approaches. And so I'm not saying my approaches are wrong because I feel like kids still need that balance. But my sons just go right up to them and they're talking to them, and I'm just like, wow. Awesome. Like, it's just amazing to see that. So,
and so, you know, that's good. That's a good point to make because I think what you're showing them, not only did they see the bad parts and the things that were unhealthy, you're also showing them the healthy parts. And they're mocking that as well, right? As you're telling them the unhealthy, we don't do that. Like that's, you know, you're coaching your way through that part of it. But I love the fact that they, you know, work, you know, community work with you. I mean, because again, I think there is, you know, we do it as women, but sometimes there's a look when it's the men doing it too. You know, when you see a young man out there working, I'm like, I see you, brother, you know.
That's right. I had one young man the other day come up to me at the rec center and told me, well, I talked to him. I said, hey, what do you want to do? You know, you're getting ready to be a senior. What do you want to do? And he said, well, I was thinking about business finance. And I was like, okay. And then he says, well, and then another thing I'm interested in is interior decorating. And I said, okay. You know, like I gave him like all props because for me, you know what you want.
Yes.
You know, not a lot of people will agree or think that home interior decorating is something you should do. But you are confident in that, you know, and I love that, you know, to hear a young male say what they want to do and then begin walking in that. So, it's
and I happen to know a good friend of mine that is a male, and his home interior decorating skills is off of the chain.
Really?
Let me tell you something. This man is bad. His home is immaculate. Looks like a show home. So if there's room, you know, he's a therapist, Mr. Randy Craven. He
is he here in Colorado?
He is. Okay. He is. So I'll reach out to him, and maybe he can speak to this young man and give him some encouragement. I don't know that. So he doesn't necessarily do that as a job. He's a therapist. However, he does it, and he does it very well. Okay. Yeah, he does. He's very good at
and confident. Yes.
Oh yeah. So that'd be awesome. So, you know, and we'll talk a little later off the record, and I'll get, you know, some information, and I'll reach out to him and see if there's any room that he would be open to, you know, just talk to him. You know, to just encourage them further. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yes, that's good. That's good. Need. Yes. So right. Right. So it's not just the women that you helping. You bad.
Family. Right. You know, we just gotta love. I just believe in love, and I believe that love just. I don't know. Love kills a lot of things. It really does. I mean, someone could walk in the door and they're yelling at you, and you show them love, it changes the whole, it just does.
It will shift that atmosphere real quick.
We got to do that, especially with our kids. Well, with people in general. Life is so hard right now, and people don't need to they need love. They need love. So that's my whole belief behind Thelma's Dream. My mom is a loving person. She loved our kids in the community. She loved on she did a lot of ministry with women that were getting out of prison, men that were getting out of prison. Just the things that she was doing. And I'm just like, wow. And just watching her just made me say, okay, I want to really, like, anything I do now, I say, what would Thelma do? What would my mama do? No, I do. That's what I do, because if I know she wouldn't do it, then I know that I'm doing the right thing. So having integrity, having
come on,
you know, good character.
Those core.
Anything that I do that you see me do, when you don't see me doing it, I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing something different, but you're
Right.
going to see me doing what you see me doing in front of you.
Yeah.
It's something that you're going to see me do when you're not in front of me.
Yeah.
So,
Amen.
and we need that today.
Yes, we do.
We need that today.
Yes, we do. So many times people are saying one thing and doing another, or they're doing it, they're saying it here.
In front of platforms.
Yeah. And then behind the scene, they acting a whole fool.
Exactly.
You know, and not really being kind and not being giving. You know, they speak it and then it's like, hey, you know, can I borrow a dime? Get a job, you know.
Exactly.
That. So be who you are when in public and when you're seen and unseen.
Yes.
Be who you are.
Yes.
You know, because that those core pieces, character, integrity, and all of those, the core of us is important.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, and that love
really
piece.
is.
I mean, I think I just hear it over and over and over and over again from people who that talk about their journeys, the importance of love. You know, and I believe that it's the love within ourselves too. You know, loving yourself, then you're able to give out the love to other people.
Yes.
Just as much. I love myself so much. I'm like, am I arrogant? But it's not, you know, and I say that jokingly, but the love that I have for me, it has breeded such a level of confidence that's just like, I mean.
And it feels good, doesn't it?
It feels so good.
Don't you feel like that butterfly that, like I felt when I took off that makeup, that was it was almost the last layer of hurt that I took off. So when I took the makeup off, I was like, okay, now I'm this butterfly that can go flying. Free. You know, I'm free.
Yeah.
I'm me. I'm so me now that when people stare at me, in my head I'm going, why are they staring at me?
Yeah. Oh,
okay, I do look different. I forgot, but that's just how much love that I have built for myself now, to where I don't even realize that I look different.
Yeah.
I love me the way I am.
Amen. That is so rich. That is so rich. Good night. So, you know, as we're coming to close to the end of time, we always say this time goes by so fast. You know, before we know it, we in thick about 45 minutes. We only got a couple of more minutes before we hit that mark. And before I ask you for, you know, some last nuggets, I want to just say this doesn't have to be a one and done. I would absolutely love for you to come back.
Absolutely.
I would absolutely love for you to come back. I am really looking forward to this foundation, you know, really getting off the ground for you.
Thank you.
I'm certainly going to support it.
Thank you so much.
Hands down, I'm going to support it.
I appreciate that.
It's
been a long haul.
Yes.
And then I look and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Like I feel like 1 minute I'm forward and then I'm being pushed back.
Hey, that's how that works.
I think it's time and So thank you for that. That means a lot. It means a lot.
You're very welcome. And I mean that that's genuine.
Thank you.
That's genuine. And it's funny because we were just saying, where do we go to, you know, usually you can go to the supermarket and pull one of the family's name off the tree to support, and you give them
and now we're doing that
food.
too. I'm doing that at Salvation Army. That's
okay.
That's the angel tree.
Okay, so that's called that. But now I know that we have this young life thing that you do, and we're gonna grab one of these. We definitely gonna grab one of these teen moms and gonna bless them for sure.
Okay.
And I'm gonna rally up as many people as I can.
Thank you.
To support Young Life, to support, you know, Thelma's Dream, to support the young man, to support Angel Tree. If you have it, give it. You know, I think there's a blessing. I mean, as we all know, there's a blessing in giving. You get it back.
Oh, yeah.
You get it back tenfold.
You do.
Many folds.
You do.
And so I love your heart.
Thank you.
Your giving heart, your giving spirit is why you're going to get back. So this foundation is going to blow up.
Thank you.
Yes, yeah, we're going to go ahead, claim it, declare it, and decree it as so.
Thank you.
All right, so as we're wrapping up, any last nuggets anything you would like to leave with our audience today?
Just really to make sure, like when I walked in here, I saw the Inside Job podcast, Healed Inside Out.
Yes.
Just begin to recognize like what it is that's impacting your life in a negative way, and just begin to walk in your healing. Walking in your healing may look like you need to that you would need to speak with somebody. You might need to, kind of sit and think about, like I did, go back to what hurt you. Begin to write those letters down on paper. Get that stuff out and begin to just replant your seed and just grow. Feed that seed something healthy. Feed it love. Feed it encouragement. All the positive energy that surrounds you is what you need to feed your seed, and just begin to heal like I did and like you did.
Amen. Yes. Amen. That's a good nugget to leave on the table. I absolutely know that's going to reach somebody. That's going to help somebody. I'm going to get the emails. I'm going to get the DMs. I'm going to get all of that based on on your episode and the things that you left, because it's needed, and people want it. People do want it. So thank you for that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So we will, we're going to hook up again. There's a lot of things that I can see us being able to collaborate with and be able to do together. We'll talk again a little bit off the record about, how you need me to volunteer.
Okay.
I'm there.
Okay.
I'm there.
That'll be so amazing.
I am so there. So thank you so much.
Yes.
I love you.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate
This was amazing.
you. Yes. Thank you so much for being vulnerable and just trusting, and then just showing who you are. Because like I said, you're beautiful. So look, ain't no need to wear no mask.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you keep up the good work, and you guys will hear from her again soon. All right?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.